Hello everyone, it's me, Sasuke125 here, and today we're going to be playing Melty Blood Actress Again Current Code. Talk about a mouthful of a title. Anyway, aka the final edition version of the original Melty Blood series, which was a doujinshi series that started back in around 2002. It started off as a sequel to another visual novel series, but then it became a part of that series, but at the same time overtook it, Anyway, for this playthrough we're going to be playing as Sion, the main character, and we're using the Crescent Moon style. And the difficulty I'll be playing on is the hardest, or level 5. Anyway, let's get started. First opponent. A pretty interesting thing about this game is, like, if you look on the corners, the game tells you how to do, like, the super moves, which is pretty convenient, so you don't have to pause the game. Well, it isn't the full list, but it's some of the basic ones, which is kind of cool. Anyway, and you can even see the opponent's list as well right there, which is interesting. So yeah. Alright. So anyway, how did I first learn about this series, you might be wondering? Well, it's a really funny story. Back in, like, the early days of YouTube, back when there was a hell of a lot more AMV videos and other stuff before all the crazy drama became much more prevalent. Granted, there was always drama on websites, but anyway, I was looking up this AMV for a freaking fan series called Sonic's Quest for Power. You might be familiar with it if you've watched, like, say, Super Mario Bros. Z. Anyway, there was this AMV of the freaking fan series, and it featured the main song, the theme song from the first game, where the open. And damn it, I'm getting killed by this asshole. I swear, Shiki is a pretty damn good character. But yeah, so I was curious about it, and I found out about the series. Another thing that really got me interested was back, like, over 10 years ago, I was at, like, this arcade, and one of the games was, like, one of the arcade iterations of Melty Blood. I think it was Melty Blood, like, React or something. I played it, it was alright, I got my ass kicked since, granted, I kind of sucked at fighting games back then. I'm not an expert, but yeah, so I got even more interested, But one of the things that really sucked about this series was that it was Japan exclusive, and trying to find a copy of the game copies of the series was pretty difficult. And plus, imports and shit. So, yeah. One day, like a few years ago, apparently, Current Code was re-released on Steam. Well, one of the final iterations of it. Granted, they took out, like, the boss rush mode, but they did have all the characters unlocked from the start, which is, I guess, nice. But anyway, I found the game was actually finally translated, which was kind of interesting, since I wasn't expecting that to ever happen, but lo and behold. But anyway. But yeah. And I guess I translated it, which to my shock, freaking Arc System Works, which is kind of funny since this game is very similar to, say, Blaze Blue or Guilty Gear, but I find the gameplay a lot better and a lot more intuitive since this game is literally pretty cool in the fact that anyone could get it into it. It's a lot more casual friendly and, you know, competitive or fuel type game, but anyway, yeah, I find, so yeah, I was like, whatever. I bought the game for like around, I believe, $20 to $10, which, again, you know, thanks to Steam sales and shit, you know, how you can get games for pretty cheap and stuff. And plus, it was around my birthday, so I was like, why the hell not? And plus, it makes for a pretty awesome Halloween game. If anything, I consider Melty Blood as sort of a spiritual successor to Darkstalkers in a weird way. Except without, you know, other, like, crazy creatures. But it's only like vampires. No, not the vampires that sparkle, you idiots. I mean actual true badass vampires. Well, anime-esque vampires, but hey, you know. So yeah, in case if you're wondering why I'm kind of getting my ass kicked, well, you know, I put the game on obviously very hard, so yeah, of course I'm not gonna. Why I did that? Oh, I don't know, I just felt like it. But anyway. I love how in the gameplay system you don't need to use super advanced controller inputs in order to freaking use some of the super moves. Yes, there is special controller input commands, but it's not as convoluted. Alright. But anyway, yeah. And it's also interesting how this series started off as a doujinshi type of, you know, project, you know, made by a bunch of, like, amateur developers before it became a, you know, pretty mainstream series in Japan, which is kind of cool. Wow, it's funny how I was having trouble earlier, but anyway, yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the series was started off as a sequel to another visual novel, then, you know, then later it expanded its own series, and yeah, the people who made this were just a bunch of a small doujinshi circle of people before they became like an actual developer, which is kind of cool. And even got like some of their games ported to like the arcade and PS2, which is kind of cool. That's an achievement if you ask me. I mean, sure, you know, fan games, well, not fan games, but like doujinshi games, indie games were always a thing back then, but they were never as prevalent as they were now. I mean, look at Toby Fox, you know. Back then, his idea of a game would not have been possible without the internet and fundraisers and shit. But anyway. But yeah. Also, I really love how the game kind of reminds me of both, yeah, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue, and freaking, weirdly enough, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It has that fast gameplay type elements to it, but also, like, you know, it has like this, you know, Blaze Blue sort of intuitive gameplay esque. And fun fact, like the series came out before Blaze Blue was even a thing, which is kind of interesting. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, what the character just activate was like freaking super mode, which you can also do as well to like regenerate health. Oh yeah, and each of the moon's wings you saw in again are like different gameplay styles. Sort of think of like how in Mortal Kombat X, a lot of the characters have like their own variants and shit. You know, slight differences in movesets and special moves and combos. Kind of like that. Or like say in Deadly Alliance or, you know, Mortal Kombat Deception, how you can actually choose. There's actually a lot of the characters have multiple movesets, which is kind of cool. Anyway, we're at like the second to last fight slash, you know, the sub boss. Also, really cool stage, by the way. Also, really love the music track in this series, which is kind of cool. Really underrated series. And I just owned the sub boss pretty easily, and that's another thing about this series, is that you can easily pull off some pretty good combo loops or combo chains. Anyway, we're at the final boss, who reminds me a bit of a, say, Onslaught from the first Marvel vs. Capcom game. Super annoying and shit. Giant. And covers like the damn screen. And you also have to listen in on the character's voice, you know, to know what attack they're about to do. Again, really hate how in fighting games, how these types of bosses are. Oh shit. And the boss just did their like super move and stuff. Crap. God, I really hate Dust of Osiris. I mean, cool design and stuff, but so really not a big fan of SNK type bosses. Yeah. I swear, a lot of developers seem to have a real boner for these types of bosses. I mean, I get it, you know, final bosses aren't supposed to be easy, but god damn it, we don't need to make them like SNK style. Jesus H. Christ, people want, you know, want to play a game to have fun, not so they can get punished and shit. I mean, unless if you're into that. Then again, to be fair, I did put the game on very hard mode, so I guess that's sort of my fault, but whatever. I mean, the game's not unfair with its difficulty. It's actually pretty fair for the most part, so god damn it. Finally! Yeah! Also, notice for a brief moment how the final boss just turned into Sion. Oh yeah, kind of a slight spoiler. She's actually like a future alternate future version of her, or something like that. And yeah, that pretty much takes care of like her playthrough on arcade mode. Game over. And I managed to get like a high rank, which is kind of cool. Wait, is that even my rank? Whatever. But anyway, here's a bunch of people who worked on the game and stuff. And yeah, did it on the hardest difficulty. But I put the rounds to only one round. Anyway, I'm gonna do play more of the game and play the other characters in other videos, so Anyway, this is SS Sasuke 125. Happy October, and hope you all have a nice Halloween, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.